Hello again, Pastor Deborah here, and welcome to another lesson in your spiritual teaching, in your growth and maturity, about humanity, the earth, and yourself, about our past, our future, and even what's going on now today. Once again, get your pencils and papers out. We're in class, and we are in another episode of the Spiritual Babylon series, the kingdom of darkness on earth and in the hearts of humanity. That's right, your heart can have a kingdom of darkness, a government over your heart, your mind, your soul, even your biological body, and your spirit. That's right. And you may not even be who you think you really are. But here in this lesson, episode number 12 of Spiritual Babylon, which we had been talking about how the many nations came to be with the different languages and cultures and traditions from God himself. Remember the flood, the story of the flood. All cultures have it. And out came Noah and his wife, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. And they were told to spread out over all the earth like the animals did. But because of their fear of the animals, who became sort of vicious, no longer friendly to them like on the ark, they stayed in the land together. And the land was called the Plains of Shinar, wherever the ark came down. We think it was somewhere in the Middle East, on top of a high mountain. Maybe we've heard Mount Ararat. They've never really found the remnants of the ark, which was made out of gopher wood. And but that basically is where, over there in the, we'll say, Middle East, where we believe that the ark came to land. And the people were to spread out over all the earth. But they didn't do that, out of fear. And they settled in the plains of Shinar. And one guy rose up. He was in the lineage of Cain, who had been cursed by his own grandfather, Noah, for something he didn't do. And his name was Nimrod. And Nimrod became a mighty hunter before God. He hunted humans and animals. And he decided to build a kingdom, which was always the goal of God himself. But the kingdom was to first start in our spirits, which were now disconnected from and not alive to God himself, but were in darkness. And so Nimrod began building Babel, which meant many languages, confusion. And he began by building cities with walls. And then he was going to put big towers in it, where we were to worship some god, which was Nimrod himself at first, and his lineage. Nimrod's wife, Samaras, and then their son, Tammuz. And the story goes that Nimrod impregnated his wife, Samaras, but Nimrod died. And so Samaras said that she was incarnated by a heavenly god, and out came Tammuz, who was the son of God. That was the pattern, which was to come many, many years later in the form of Christ Jesus and a precious young lady named Mary, who was overshadowed and impregnated by an angel of God. The pattern was there, and guess who took it? Satan, the spiritual adversary of God, who had been Lucifer in heaven, but because he had been one of the three archangels of Michael and Gabriel, he had about 1/3 of all the angels and creatures under him, and his heart got lifted up in pride. Hopefully we'll get through what this Lucifer used to look like. He was filled with all wisdom and knowledge and beauty, and he started looking at himself and desiring what he had to pass on to God, glory and praise. And he wanted to become the king of heaven. Well, God heard his thoughts, his heart, and cast him down to the earth, where we live, as lightning. And so Satan, at first, he let his guys that fell down with his tail just goes nuts, bonkers on earth. And it got so bad that God looked down at all of nature and humanity and said, I have to destroy it. So he sent a flood. And he had to help Noah. He talked to him how to build this ark, this boat, and to bring in 2 of every kind of animal and bird and living creature inside the ark. And then God let it start raining. The rivers and everything opened up and flooded and killed every living creature and all humanity except Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives, and all the animals that had been brought to the ark, because of the horrible condition that not only nature, the animals, and humanity had gotten into when demonic spirits and their capabilities of wrecking our lives was so bad. And so God started over. After the flood came, the ark came to rest on a high mountain. That's where I said they think it was on Mount Ararat. And out came the animals, and humanity through Shem, Ham, and Japheth started reproducing, having kids. And they were told to spread out, but they didn't. And they sent there, and as I said, Nimrod rose up as a mighty hunter. And he developed his first family, and he developed the first kingdom there in the plains of Shinar. Well, during this time, everybody had one language, one culture, one belief system, one traditions, and they had memories of the flood, and they had memories of many things. So they built a tower, a great high tower, up to God, up to heaven. And Nimrod was to be sort of their high priest, their faith and spiritual leader, and their king, their government. Well, guess what? God decided to come down and see what they were doing. He knew they weren't doing what he told them to do. And he walked around among them, maybe, or just listened. And they were all with one language. And God said, they're not doing what I asked them to do. So I'm going to help them to do what I want them to do. So God came down and somehow confused their languages. And through this confusion of language, nobody could understand each other. They couldn't work together anymore on the Tower of Babel. And so from that moment on, humanity began separating by languages. And they found each other, and nations started. And so they went off, and they took all their memories, all their plans, all their knowledge that they had, and they went and they spread out over all the earth as God had wanted them, with different languages. And then they developed based on probably the weather, their surroundings, their culture, traditions. And that's how we had the beginning of nations. God brought it about. And so here we're picking up in some scripture references from the Authorized King James Bible that I use along with the Strong's Concordance and the Webster's Dictionary. Remember, I have had to study and go back and study humanity's and the Earth's ancient history. Go study our beginnings. Go back through the dinosaurs. Go back and study science to where the Earth began. Go and look at pictures through the Hubble Telescope, which is online now. Discover that the galaxies are still growing. Still, stars are dying, stars are being born, planets are coming, a lot of stuff is happening, even though we don't know it. Go study humanity's ancient beginning. Go study the beginnings of nations. Go study language. Go study culture, traditions, religion, faith. Go study government, politics, leaders. Go study, read, watch documentaries, learn how things are done. I just watched a wonderful, about a 10, 15-minute little video on YouTube about how they take scrap paper, boxes, everything, and make toilet paper out of it in a factory. Go study how food is processed. Go study. Watch little videos. Read books. Watch documentaries. Watch archaeology. Study. Go under the earth. Years ago, when I was a small child, we had Jacques Cousteau. And Jacques Cousteau made videos and showing us scuba diving under the water. And I discovered a whole new place. I actually became a scuba diver, an underwater photographer, won blue ribbons in state fairs with my photography. Also was a cave diver, dove caves all over the state of Florida. Also, I went and down into the Caribbean, dove off many islands, San Salvador, where Christopher Columbus landed, the Cayman Islands. I went down off the coast of Honduras to a little island called Roatan. I dove and took pictures. I dove on deep ships that were sunk. Now, I never spearfished or never caught lobsters. I did photography. It's excellent. I dove with young people, old people. I was an explorer. Some of the places I went, you had to push away the duckweed and go down mountains and go into the sunken gardens. And there inside the caves, you discover a whole different world. I was an archaeologist, was looking. When you go and see in caves, in the walls, fossilized seashells, your mind will go, wow, this is interesting. So here in this series, this episode, number 12, we're going to continue on in scriptures about the confusion of languages that came from God in the area of the lands and the plains of Shinar with humanity, and how the beginning of nations happened. So let's pick up, because you need to learn. I think you've got a lot of lack of knowledge about yourself, humanity, and so you don't have enough knowledge to even understand yourself or your body or your mind or your thoughts. You don't know history. You don't know archaeology. You don't know a lot of things. So we need to help you. All right, we're going to go to Acts 17:23 through 30. Remember, we'd been talking about how God came down. This was an act of God, the confusion of languages, the beginning of nations, different cultures and traditions. And he had seen what they were doing, and he didn't like it. He had told them to spread out over all the earth, and they just didn't do it. So here in Acts 17, verse 24, let's pick up. Paul is writing this. He's an early apostle. He's writing to the new believers of this young man named Christ Jesus, who had passed away on a cross. Some say he was sacrificed by Pilate, who was the political leader of Caesar, but he was turned over by the religious community. You got to watch out for the religious leaders. They are very cruel to those who don't follow their ways for some reason. That would be another study to find out why they are so, I think the word they use now, hard-lined, why they would hurt people who don't believe exactly the way they believe and do everything religiously or spiritually the way they want them to. That's not right, but that's what they do. All right, Acts 17, verse 24. Paul's in Athens now. That's Greece. And he's speaking to the people in Athens. I actually went there myself to Athens, where Paul got up on this big rock. You need to take some trips if you can. I don't know if you can now with all what's going on in the world. You need to go to these places and see how difficult. Now, Paul was a Hebrew. He had come out of Israel. Now he's over in Athens, Greece. He was a traveler. He wasn't married. He had no children. And he was sent by God into dark, dark places. So Paul, he's in Athens, and he's speaking to the people while he was there. I think he used to get up on a big rock. It was called Mars Hill. I think I went to it. I actually went to the Parthenon on top of the high mountain. You need to travel if you can. If you can't, just travel by documentaries on your laptop or phone nowadays. Verse 23. For as I passed by, and I beheld your devotions, for I found an altar, a rock, a place a temple with the inscription, "To the unknown God." This is Paul talking to the Athenians, saying, I passed by a rock that you got this inscription on, "To the unknown God." See, humanity has known about a God, didn't really know him, but they heard about him. And Paul spoke to these people in Athens, saying, "To whom therefore you ignorantly worship." How many of you ignorantly worship God? Do you really know him? Have you ever met him? Has he ever talked to you? Have you ever been to his place, wherever he lives? Well, this unknown God, who this altar you worship at, is, as Paul declares, I unto you. Verse 24. He is saying, this God that you don't know, but you are worshiping ignorantly, which you probably are yourself, God that made the world, he says, and all the things therein, that's who you're worshiping. Seeing that he is Lord, that means owner of heaven and earth. Oh, that's right. This God they're worshiping, they don't know, he's the owner, the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. And he dwells and lives not in temples made with hands. Nowadays we might call them mosques, churches, buildings. That's right. He doesn't live in those. He used to. Back in the early days, you had to go to maybe a temple, and he was in the Holy of Holies, he said, but he doesn't live there anymore. He's out and among us. Verse 25. Neither is he worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything. Think about your prayers and your fasting. Is that really what he wants? Do you even know what real prayer and real fasting is to God? I had to do a study on prayer and fasting. You go look up that video. It's interesting what kind of fasting he's talking about versus the kind of fasting we do. As though he needed anything, seeing he gives to all life and breath. When you look at an animal, do you see God? When you look at a plant, do you see God? When you look at the stars, the moon, do you see God? Do you see God in the heavens, the air, a rose, a squirrel, a bug? Do you see God? Do you see his hand of creation? That he gave all life to it and its breath to all things? That's right. Verse 26. And he has made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell in, to live on all the face of the earth, and has determined our times before we were even here. They have been appointed, and the boundaries and the borders of our habitation. Well, why did he do this? You got to start studying God. You know, I learned a lot when I had a story, and I'll tell you, and then we'll close out. I'll tell you a story about the golden pine cone, and it'll help you to understand so you can look beyond this natural world. When I was taking a lot of walks, there's a lot of pine trees around where I live, and there would be pine trees in the pine cones in the road. Some of them be crushed, cut in half because of a lawnmower, and I would hear these broken, destroyed, injured pine cones speaking to me. Can you imagine a pine cone speaking? And it would say to me, please help me, please help me. I can't be all that I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be over there in the dirt, letting my seeds down to grow a new tree. But I'm out here in the road, and I'm crushed and I'm bruised. Please throw me back in the dirt, help me. A pine cone talking to me like that. But what I learned, nature has a voice. And nature will talk to you if you have ears to hear. So I'd pick up these pine cones and throw them back into the woods so they could produce their seeds which was what their purpose was. Just the same as a human, to have children, babies. Then what I heard, as I'm still walking, was a thank you from them. Then all of a sudden, a golden pine cone spiritually appeared before me and said, those brown pine cones were just a shadow of Him who lives in the Garden of Eden, which is golden and glorious and beautiful. And this was the natural world that was based on the spiritual world of the garden. And this golden pine cone thanked me for caring about His shadow, or you might say His soul, that helpmate of Him. The golden pine cone wanted humanity's natural abilities, our soul and our biological body, to understand the unseen world of the spiritual Garden of Eden. So a golden pine cone was sort of like the original of the brown pine cones. All the pine cones in the Garden of Eden are golden, not brown. But this golden pine cone said that these brown pine cones in the natural world were a representation, a shadow of Him, a real golden pine cone. So I had two worlds open up to me through pine cones. And I learned so much about the spiritual realm, the Garden of Eden, that nature has a voice, it will talk to you, and if you appreciate nature that we see with our five senses, the spiritual realm is happy. But when we shed blood, we abuse our natural world that we live in with our physical body. The spiritual realm is saddened because we don't appreciate what's been given to us, what's been created for us to live in. So here, in this episode of Spiritual Babylon, the Kingdom of Darkness, the confusion of languages from God, the beginning of nations, we are learning that many thousands of years after the Babylon confusion of languages happened, we're hearing a young man, Paul, talk to humanity in Athens. He calls it Mars Hill, about this unknown God that they had sacrificed to, were worshiping. And that tells you a lot about humanity. Most of us these days don't even know this unknown God. We're worshiping, we're praying, we're seeking, sort of, but we haven't met Him yet. So my job as a teacher is to help you understand yourself, understand the natural world, understand nature, understand religion, we'll say, understand spiritual things that have been hidden from you. Maybe you get bits and pieces of it in dreams, or fairy tales, or comic books, or science fiction, or in movies, or in pictures, or in art, or in statues. Or you get a thought that you don't know where it comes from. My job is to help you rediscover who you really were in the beginning. Not that evil, wicked stuff, but the who you were in the garden. And all about the spiritual kingdom of heaven on earth and the spiritual kingdom of darkness on earth. That's right. So you come back to the next episode and we'll pick up in verse number 27 and see what these people had to say to Paul in Athens about this unknown God they were worshiping and having prayer to, fasting for, trying to connect with this God of the creation of languages and nations. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.